This is Here I Am, Batson and the Batsons, by Small Spidey Boy. Read by Star 1412. Chapter 9, Snark and Alarm, BatDad's Day In. Bruce was having a crisis. Not that he would ever want to admit that. Not even to Alfred, though Bruce was sure the butler somehow already knew. Two of his sons wanted to adopt the child they had just found, and both were hell-bent on it too, so it would seem. The other two seemed to be hiding something from him. Which was odd, since Damian and Tim being in the same house together ended up in more fighting than any one of them had liked. Even Jason had seemed to agree that it was frankly ridiculous. And the fact that Billy was an adorable child with black hair and blue eyes held absolutely no sway over him, not even an ounce. Bruce picked up a spare batarang he had laying about the cave, and fiddled with it aimlessly while he was thinking. Surely the best answer was bound to come to it. He had to just give it a good long think. Bruce set to updating case files and giving some minor crimes a work-over to help him settle and focus his thoughts. "Still brooding, I see, Master Bruce," Alfred stated, rather than asking. Bruce grunted. "I don't brood." Alfred gave him a once-over. "Very well, Master Bruce." Bruce waited until he was sure that Alfred was out of earshot and grumbled. "Batman does not brood. It's unsightly." He can hear the butler's not-so-polite, "I can still hear you, Master Bruce. It is going to take more than a few steps away to hide the voice of yours, after all. I did raise you. And I know a petulant lad when I see or hear one." He firmly swivels the chair toward the Bat computer, and pointedly does not scowl grumpily as he picks over the case files and research information collected and compiled by Tim. At least Tim wasn't trying to adopt the child. Since the boy cannot seem to understand that caffeine is not a substitute for food or sleep, and it's frankly ridiculous to find him asleep in the rafters of all places. Thank the gods for Cassandra, otherwise Bruce might have never found where Tim likes to hide and take his naps at inconvenient times. At this point he thinks he might be cursed with his children's proclivity for high, unstable, and quite frankly ridiculous places to sleep. Bruce is all set to spend a few hours working and mulling over his problems when his league communicator rings with the sequence used for urgent issues. He can feel a sort of grimness pull at his mouth before he turns it on and connects the Bat computer to it for a video feed. "Flash," he intones. "What's the issue?" Flash's face appears a moment later, worry tugging at the lines around his mouth. "It's Captain Marvel. He hasn't shown up for his shift monitoring with me, and nobody has been able to reach him for almost a week. I wasn't super worried until Constantine contacted the Watchtower looking for him. According to the local news and eyewitness reports, Captain Marvel has not been seen since last Tuesday at 2300, when he stopped a robbery at an ATM and disappeared." Bruce can almost physically feel the weight settling into his shoulders when he squares them and turns back to Flash. While it's not unusual for the captain to disappear for 2 to 4 days before reappearing, he almost always lets us know in advance. It's also unlike him to skip a monitoring shift when scheduled for it. "I'll admit it, Flash." Bruce frowns, resisting the urge to smooth out his cowl. "It doesn't look good. Contact Zatanna, Constantine, and Dr. Fate, and ask them if there have been any magic or energy spikes. I'm going to start an algorithm to scour the web for mentions of sudden lightning strikes or an unfamiliar superhero. While we can't rule out that something did happen, we do have to remember that Marvel has stated he has a civilian life and a family. Something could have come up, and he might not be able to make contact due to personal reasons or fear of revealing his secret identity." Flash nods, and the screen goes blank and closes a moment later. Bruce will admit that he usually goes for the worst-case scenario, in most, if not all cases. But it's not unusual for sudden League members to go dark due to personal problems in their life. Normally they try to reach out, some even through their civilian personas, much to Bruce's dismay. But as Dick so likes to say, shit happens. Bruce sends Oracle the needed info, including keywords to search for, a general summary of what's going on, and turns to work on logging data of Captain Marvel's most common sightings. His work is going unusually smoothly for a while before he hears it. A faint, almost imperceptible meowing coming from the entrance of the cave. Bruce swivels to face the entrance with a steely frown, and crosses his arms to put up an imposing front because he has a very good idea of what's going on. After all, there's a reason why he now has a cat, a dog, a cow, and a turkey. Damian. The aforementioned child is indeed holding a box containing what appears to be a clean, somewhat disgruntled cat. Damian. Bruce sighs, pinching his brow with his thumb and forefinger. "What do you have in the box, and why is it meowing?" He can almost feel Damian's eyes boring into him. "I have no idea what you are speaking about, Father," he says stiffly. "It seems that your brain is tricking you with the common phenomenon known as paracusis." otherwise known as auditory stress hallucinations. Maybe I should inform Pennyworth of this condition you have suddenly developed, as it might be a symptom of a larger issue. He sniffs, adjusting his grip on the box and quietly shushing the occupant before raising a brow at Bruce. Bruce just takes a moment to stare off into space to the right of Damian's head before he breaks. It seems we are at an impasse, so I offer you this deal. If you can convince both Tim and Alfred to let you keep your newest pet, I will let you. However, threats, coercion, and blatant flattery are not allowed. Do you agree? Damian nods before walking quickly toward the elevator, and Bruce can almost feel the foreboding emanating from the child. Dear God, Bruce mutters. I think I set myself up on that one. He turns to the mostly silent and peaceful cave and continues his work, worrying into the night over the vaguest off issues and leaving the Marvel issue until there is an update. This has been Chapter 9 of Here I Am, Batson and the Batsons by Small Spidey Boy, read by Star1412. If you like this, let me know in the comments, and let Small Spidey Boy know in the original work. And if you have any ideas for other fanfics I could read, let me know in the comments, and I'll see what I can do. Thanks for listening!